cannot allow anything easy, especially early, and Nebraska was able to spread out the Nittany Lions defensively and get some back cuts. So look for Wisconsin to maybe try to get a few things, at least initially, going toward the rim and get something easy, because those baskets have been few and far between over the last couple of weeks for the Badgers.
Two of the best in the country in terms of not turning it over. In fact, they are the two best in the country. Wall going right to the bucket on the opening possession, showed patience, and that's what Greg Gard told us today at shoot-around. He has to be better at finishing around the basket.
And I think he's starting to get healthier. He's still not healthy with that ankle, but a nice job of coming under control and utilizing really good footwork with the up and under move.
Funk got open and drills the opening triple.
Penn State bookstore.
Funk and Lundy, that's not a law firm, but it is two guys for Penn State, which can knock down triples, #1 and #2 in the Big Ten in that particular area, and Funk showing you why.
It's amazing they lost with those two guys hitting 12 threes in Lincoln, but it shows the issues they had on this side of the ball defensively against the Cornhuskers.
Tominaga went crazy with 30 points in his own right for Nebraska.
And there's Hepburn. We'll see if he gets to 18 shots or so like Stephen Bardo was talking about in studio, but they absolutely need him to hit shots.
Yeah, and he's a guy that can really hurt you from not just the lane, but also behind the arc. Doesn't take a ton, but 47% from behind the arc on the year.
Winter trying to drive into the lane. Good spin move, Mikey Henn making his 4th straight start. Now the ball never hit the rim. Doesn't matter. Lundy with the 2.
And that's what Mikey Henn has given Penn State since he's been in the lineup. They're not gonna run anything for him. Keep plays alive. The defensive end of the floor, another big body, but a savvy play, understanding he had a better opportunity for his teammate to score in the perimeter than he did at the rim.
There's a good pace to this game the first 2 minutes. Teams that have been trying to score at a higher rate, especially Wisconsin. Lesman on the turnaround, and the long rebound out to Winter. In transition, that's the guy you can't leave, and he drills another.
Yeah, you have to make sure in trend. He was setting that up from the moment he ran in front of our area here at midcourt. He was getting his feet set, his hands were ready. And you have to be out there not just on the closeout, but you have to be out hands high and force him at least to put the ball on the floor.
He has been on a tear the last 3 games, averaging more than 21. Wall, again, couldn't finish.
And you could see right there, earlier in the year, he'd have been able to elevate and get a little bit closer to the rim. He's just still battling that foot injury.
At some point, you think that affects confidence, too.
No question.
Hepburn fouled on a reach-in.
Penn State
You talked about it at the top of this telecast, the game that Lundy was coming off of, and if you're Wisconsin, look, Wall was there, but look where his hand was. I mean, it wasn't up. Lundy didn't have anything obstructing his view other than the air between himself and the rim.
Foul called on Lundy. Wisconsin was trying to inbound. A 1 on Lundy, the foul before that called on Winter. Funk saves that inbounds. Rare turnover from Wisconsin. Now, they may not run anything for him, but he wanted the ball. He certainly can hit these 2. When he started against Michigan, you were here. He provided a big spark with 10 points.
He did a nice job also defensively and really good passer as well.
Funk on the drive with a basket. Good defense. Connor Esijan stood his ground. You see the emphasis finding Wall, this time on the much bigger hand. No foul called. And Wall slow to get back. Penn State's got numbers. In transition, Lundy again.
Boy, did they dodge one. I mean, they completely left him alone. That's just a breakdown in communication right there.
Shot fake. Nice pass into the post to Wall. This time he does
Wisconsin
finish.
basket, Tyler Wall.
That is 4 of the first 5 possessions where they have found Tyler Wall in the paint.
And they've made a concerted effort to go inside, and starting with Wall, and a better job of getting position before the pass came. This way he was able to catch the ball right in front of the rim. A couple of times he's been pushed out maybe a couple feet farther than he wanted to be.
That's way outside for Andrew Funk. A lot of the games in the series over the years for these two have come down to the wire, and you feel the intensity here at the Bryce Jordan Center early in this game.
To move up or down, but for these teams right now, not just for what it might mean in March, but what it means in the here and now to kind of get off the proverbial schneid and get some momentum.
Well, we talked to both coaching staffs about that, Greg Gard saying, look, everybody reads. We know, but reality is people always focus on March, but you don't get to March if November, December, January, and February don't go well. But Wisconsin got to number 14 in the country. Yeah. They just had some skids here. They've had some injuries, and they've lost a bunch of close games.
Yeah, the most prominent injury was to Tyler Wall. He missed 3 games, and his absence was noticeable as they lost all 3 of those. And nice job right there by Davis of kind of walling up on Jalen Pickett, who just tried to back him down.
Carter Gilmore had the rebound for the Badgers, just checked into the game. Hepburn going at the freshman, the Hayfie. Sejan ran out of space. Still plenty of time to shoot for Wisconsin. Tied up here a little bit more than 5 minutes into the ballgame. Hepburn over Jai, and her just rolls out. Trying to get off the screen.
They ran a stagger for him, and a nice job by Wisconsin of kind of talking him through.
A little bit more deliberate out of the timeout in the early going of this ball game. 4 on the timer. Pickett steps back. Yet to score here in this ball game. Jalen Pickett now 0-3 to start. Davis with the entry pass and the double coming on Stephen Crowell. We saw a lot of that against Northwestern. Sejan in the corner drills a 3.
That was a big-time shot. First, it started with an excellent look across the court, Jason, and it hit Sejan above the number, so he didn't have to reload, and that was very important because the closeout was pretty good there, but a nice delivery by Sejan.
His 50th made 3 here in his freshman season. He himself is coming off a career-high 5 threes in that loss to Northwestern. Mahaffey with the floater. Crowell the rebound. That is 5 rebounds already for Stephen Crowell. Such a good passer, too, at 7 feet. They need that, especially when they feed it into the post. Sejan, this time top of the arc. But again, the quickness of the decisions from the big man.
Because they're running a double team, and we saw Penn State do that against Hunter Dickinson.
The fact that Stephen Crowell only had 5 shots. Wildcats and Chris Collins were doubling hard every time they touched the ball in the paint. He said, what's the key? We make threes, that's going to go away.
To punish him for that.
Thrilled with that one.
Kamari McGee in to get Chucky Hepburn a little bit of extra rest before the upcoming media timeout at the 12-minute mark.
Offensive foul going the other direction. And that is on Gilmore. He's picked up 2 quick fouls coming off the bench.
That is his second.
The whistle giveth and the whistle taketh away, Jason.
Well, you talked about buying minutes. Wisconsin has not been the deepest of teams this year. So whatever they can get in those minutes from those guys is crucial.
And McGee has done a nice job. He doesn't play a ton of minutes, but he comes in as kind of a stabilizing influence, playing, you know, a minute, 90 seconds at a time, usually right around an upcoming media timeout.
The Lions have missed their last 7 shots. Fancy dribbling. Nice touch from Clary. You know, everybody always says the announcer jinx when you say, hey, he's made 15 free throws in a row and they miss. How come we don't get the credit when we say they've missed 7 shots in a row and they hit?
I'll give you credit.
Thanks, Sean.
I'll give you credit.
Timeout coming on the next whistle. Davis the step back for 3.
Wisconsin 3-point basket, Jordan Davis.
And that left his hands. I'm thinking, for your sake, that better go in because it came off no ball reversal. Kind of a quick shot, but Davis buried it.
In transition, gave it right back to Wall. No travel. Mahaffey got him on the elbow, no foul.
You like to have seen Wall, because he can score with that left hand. Maybe try to convert with the left hand and not put it in there where Mahaffey has a chance to really contest effectively.
On the bounce to Jai, laid it over Gilmore.
He's coming off a game, is Jai, where he didn't dazzle you with scoring, but 5 offensive rebounds, played with a great deal of effort. He's starting to get a little bit more confident on the offensive end, and a wonderful delivery from Pickett. He's an experienced player to a relatively inexperienced player, and Jai hit him right above the numbers on that bounce pass.
5 offensive rebounds sounds like a lot. It is. He had 3 offensive rebounds the rest of the conference season. A lot of dribbling. They didn't back down. And Gilmore is fouled with 1 left on the shot clock.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
And when you don't have the ability to move laterally because of an ankle, you suffer on that end as well.
He's a better free throw shooter than he's been. Michigan beat Nebraska earlier here on Big Ten Network. Convincing win. They're up by double digits most of that game, won by 20. Here, Wisconsin up by 5, 3.5 to go. Quad 1 opportunity for the Badgers here on the road, and for Penn State looking to hold serve. Great alley-oop, couldn't finish, but a foul, and Mahaffey's gonna go to the line.
That's a tough one to have go against you if you're Wisconsin, without question.
So athletic, so good with the ball in his hand.
He played point guard in high school, so, I mean, the future is very bright for number 12, Mahaffey.
He will go to the bench. And Miles Dredd making an appearance for the first time tonight, Sean, with 3 minutes to go in the half. He's been struggling from the floor so much.
0 of 6 from deep last time out at Nebraska.
This on the defensive end. He doesn't have the height of Wall, but certainly has the body strength, and a box out there right on cue.
Really good job by Miles Dredd. He drew the assignment, the inevitable assignment of trying to guard Maury when they played at Rutgers because of foul trouble.
Timeout, Wisconsin.
They've also found ways to get him the ball on the move, but Indiana's a great example of how quickly teams can turn things around in this league.
Moore back on the floor with the 2 fouls. Brow played so well, but his 2 fouls keep him for the second half pretty crucial. And again, out of the timeout, right back to Wall.
And what Wall did there, which was really smart, when you turn and face, that arm bar has to come off. So he was able to turn and face the defender. They didn't have the advantage of putting the arm bar on because they would have been a foul because he turned and faced.
Dredd on the drive, and he lost it. Wall's in double figures, Esijan's in double figures. Wisconsin shooting 55% from the floor here in the half. Gilmore launches the triple.
Nice job by Pickett there of getting a hip into Wall.
Going to make a play here for Penn State. Seth Lundy on the bench with 2 fouls. It's in the hands of Mikey Head, and he hands it off to Pickett. That's a 3.
Really nice defensive sequence by Wisconsin. The communication was excellent. They didn't allow a dribble drive and then a kick out for a 3. The Nittany Lions had to settle for that 3 with Pickett kind of going to his left out of desperation, essentially off the dribble.
Remember, this is a Penn State team that is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in all of college basketball. Yet tonight, they're 2 of 8 from beyond the arc.
They're coming off an effort, in a losing effort, where they knocked down 14 triples at Nebraska.
Hepburn pulls up for 3. I know you hate the 2-on-1.
1 minute remaining.
I saw your face as soon as he started to slow down.
It's just the way the game is now. It's just the way the game is. My feeling is you're going to shoot that, especially if we don't make it, please.
Pickett dribbling, he missed that as well. Hey, make sure to stick around. The State Farm halftime report. Dave Revson, Bruce Weber, Stephen Bardo, they're back in studios. Coming up here, State Farm halftime report, 25 seconds.
And I think Coach Shrewsbury was upset with that shot because it did not force Wisconsin to exert any energy on the defensive end of the floor. That was very, very quick. No ball reversal or swinging of the ball, forcing the Badgers to defend more than half the real estate.
3 on the clock, extra pass,
Wisconsin
and Davis right there on the receiving end to give Wisconsin its largest lead of this opening half. 5 seconds for Clary. Oh, what a move to the bucket. Took it right at Wall, couldn't finish. Pickett with the follow, beat the buzzer, and the Nittany Lions.
14 threes. Now, granted, the preponderance of those came from Seth Lundy, but nevertheless, that is what they do. And Wisconsin, by and large, with a couple of lapses in transition, has been able to take that away.
And they get a 3 right out of the break, and Essegian's called for the foul. And they did just that.
Wisconsin foul on number 3.
And a very, very quick release.
Second personal foul for Essegian, first team foul of the half.
Well, if you remember back mid-January when these two teams met at the Kohl Center, Penn State had a 6-point halftime lead. Wisconsin went on an 8-0 run to start the second half. Never trailed the rest of the game. They won 63-60. Can Penn State have that same type of energy coming out of the locker room here at home? And a foul, it's called on Hen. Hairdos. I like the hairdo over that bit. Hepburn gets an open look at a 3.
Nice job by Crowell.
John, he missed the last 7 minutes of action of the first half with his second foul, and Wisconsin was able to hold on to that lead. Kick out to Klesmit.
Good job by Penn State of understanding that they had the freshman, in that case, Essegian, kind of isolated, but Pickett just not able to take advantage.
Pickett thought there'd be a body right there as well, and an offensive foul.
But he also had 3 assists in that first half.
He was well on his way to a double-double. He has 7 rebounds, 5 points. Lundy's being held as well. But that's what Wisconsin was working on during shoot-around, making sure Penn State did not get open looks on those handoffs. Pickett fades away, hits in the paint, but they are making Jalen Pickett work for every single shot. Crowd trying to get the Nittany Lions going on this end. Klesmit's caught with Pickett. Fought it up for 2.
Wisconsin basket.
Boy, that's a difficult shot because Pickett, it looked like he was going to have an easy basket. Pickett recovered and then put his chest right in there, and Klesmit would not give up. I thought he might have almost pivoted himself into a difficult angle there, but still able to convert. Pickett and Klesmit exchanging less than pleasantries going down the floor.
Hepburn
Wisconsin
in transition drills the 3. Just 6 points for Wisconsin's leading scorer, both of them from beyond the arc. Badgers back up by 7, 2.5 minutes here into the second half. Puck way off the mark, and Lundy tracks down the offensive board.
Nice help there by Gilmore.
Great fake by Hen.
Oh,
And he rolled it in.
I tell you what, I thought Carter Gilmore had done his job, but a nice response by Mikey Hen. He doesn't shoot a ton, but he's effective when he does, 47% from behind the arc.
To your point, that's just his 18th attempt on the year, but he's 9 of 18 now. And that's their first made 3, Sean. You go all the way back to 2 minutes into this ballgame. Hepburn falls over and makes the shot over the 6'8" Hen.
Chucky Hepburn showing you his offensive versatility. A couple possessions ago, knocked down that 3 on kind of a secondary break, and then able to get into the lane and knock it down over the larger player. And they are running funk off that 3-point line. Nice recovery.
Marie Gathers put the shoulder into the freshman Cameron Winter. That's experience and that's upper body strength.
And that's also a little bit more confidence. You can see it with a little bounce in his step now for Cam Winter. He had struggled mightily, especially from behind the arc, but he's doing some work inside that arc tonight on his way to a double-digit game.
Yeah, first double-digit game since January 1st. It was the last touch by Penn State
in the second half, but they were 7 of 8 from the line in the first half. That's been an area of concern for the Badgers all year. They came into this ballgame 65% as a squad from behind the arc.
Wall ripped away the offensive rebound.
He goes to work on the freshman.
Faces up John. Got Lundy in the air. Beautiful body control between a pair of defenders.
And he turned and faced the freshman, Jai, able to get by him. They came enough under control, and then that shot fake bought him enough time to get it up over the rim.
First points in the second half for Tyler Wall, and it's an offensive foul.
That's a frustration foul on Pickett. Two-hand shove, and now we're going to come back the other way. And the last time that the Badgers had the basketball, they're able to turn. Now, once you turn and face, look, that defender's on an island. He can't utilize outside that 3-foot area. Once you turn and face that arm bar, he's able to turn the corner. They came under control, and the shot fake got him just enough time.
Tyler Wall has looked tonight like the player that was preseason All Big Ten.
And he's still not all the way back. You can tell he's not able to elevate as much, but he's moving laterally a little bit more effectively.
On the 7 on the timer for the Badgers, up by 6. Hepburn, late clock dribble, kick out to Gilmore for 3. Lundy skied high for that board. Pickett, probing, backing, laying it up, and in.
He just put his shoulder, and Chucky Hepburn's not a small guy, but I mean, he moved it.
6'4", 210, backing down 6'2", 205. So to your point, at least on paper, feels the same, looks the same. That's desire, right?
Oh,
man. Whistle. He's been playing like an All-American. And if you're having an All-American season and the rest of the team is struggling, you need someone to take over.
Especially going toward the rim.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Hepburn on the drive. Jai with the rebound. Hepburn still back behind the play, and Pickett's going right back to the same spot. Backing his way down, no shot.
To isolate the primary defender with that back down.
How's Dredd back into the ball game for Penn State? He played a couple of minutes in that first half. The dear senior averages 22 minutes a game. And a foul going the other way.
Kind of rolled through it, stuck the shoulder out, and what drew the attention of the official, there was no other traffic around there to obstruct the view.
Well, and Larry Scarato's the official that called it. He, during that last foul, was having a conversation from across the court with Micah Shrewsbury. Tyler Wall trying to get around. Davis for 3, and he knocks it in. Jordan Davis, 8 points off the bench. A huge lift for the Badgers, and they're back up 7.
And that's a bonus because Jordan Davis in the first half.
Big 2 for Davis to play well. Asijan just picked up his 3rd foul. So Crowell and Asijan both on the bench for the Badgers, dealing with foul trouble. Pickett working at Davis on the kick out. Dredd buys a triple. Miles Dredd was over at Nebraska and just buried that one. He's been struggling mightily the last 5 games. Davis lost it on the way up. Penn State basketball.
And he needed that because, to your point, Jason, he only has, does Dredd, 4 field goals inside the 3-point arc. And when he's not scoring from 3, he really struggles on that end of the floor.
Jai is fouled.
But you also have to play time scoring situation. And if they're able to utilize some dribble drives, especially by Pickett, and get into that bonus, so much the better.
I thought that was on Wall. It was Gilmore. So now Gilmore also has 3 fouls. Winter on the drive, on the stop. Down to 4 on the timer. And another foul called on Wisconsin. Now it's called on the floor.
Wisconsin foul number 4.
It's on McGee.
That is his
But
first.
Sean, Penn State is going to shoot free throws the rest of this ball game.
And especially for a guy like Winter, who's made a living so far tonight with that mid-range game, hey, continue to put the ball on the floor. And as a result,
Right on cue.
Yep.
That's another one. That's Klesmit's third.
If you beat them and cut hard, that the Nittany Lions may have to grab you and kind of even out the foul situation.
It's the front end of the 1-and-1. And you know, the focus in the timeout there is so much because, Sean, there were 3 fouls called on Wisconsin within a span of 45 seconds.
And a couple of them bailed out the Nittany Lions with the shot clock under 10. If you slide your feet another step and a half, and don't reach, chances are you're not drawing at least one of those fouls. Nice backdoor.
There it was. And it was knocked away.
I thought he had a chance to score. I know they were probably trying to set up a 3, but man, he had a layup.
Meanwhile, Penn State on the other end, Sean, a chance to take the lead for the first time since it was 8-7 in this ball game. Nittany Lions trailed by 6 at the half. Winner on the drive. Down to 5 on the shot clock. A lot of one-on-one with Wall. The step back. And could not get the rebound. Good box out by Gilmore.
And a good job by Wall of not allowing Winter to turn the corner and forcing a difficult fadeaway. Nice job defensively there by Tyler Wall.
Got the defensive stop out of the timeout. When they get back on the offensive end, Wisconsin still shooting 50% from the floor in this game. They've been so smooth on this side of the floor. Kick out to Hepburn for 3, and he drains it.
Wisconsin 3-point basket.
Nice
Chucky
job of
Hepburn.
filling in behind. Wall understanding, playing with a little bit of patience. Michael Henn looked like he might kind of come down and try to dig it out. He didn't do that, and then a good job by Hepburn of making himself available in that far corner.
When you talk about Wisconsin's bigs being so good passing out of the block.
Wisconsin foul.
Wall and Crowell have
Carter
7
Gilmore.
assists
That
combined.
is his 4th.
And this is a perfect example.
And there comes the strong dig. And when that dig came down by Cameron Winter, watch, number 11 comes down, and rather than stand still and not provide a good angle for Wall, you saw Hepburn flayed into that corner. Good two-man game, but once that double team was coming, it took 2. Wall not to panic, and Hepburn to make himself available.
Don't miss the journey. Big Ten basketball 2023 fueled by Gatorade. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network. We're not inside of 2 minutes.
It's a good job by Lundy of not giving up on the play. And if you're Wall, you always have to assume that someone's coming from behind and shin the basketball. Now, you can't extend your elbows, but you got to put it underneath the chin and not kind of put it out there for the odd opportunity to present itself.
This was the offense early in the second half. Pickett, same thing, can't finish. Jalen Pickett this season is a 51% shooter. Tonight he is 4 of 13. Crowell back on the floor playing with the 3 fouls. Klesmit on the drive.
Nice.
Great look to Wall.
Oh, and
They called it foul before
Penn
that.
State foul.
really
number
good
22,
job by
Jalen
Klesmit of
Pickett.
turning the
That is
corner
his
and then
second.
playing under control.
Team's 5th.
This is what dribble penetration can do. Now watch,
For the Nittany Lions,
Mikey Henn has to
Chucky
come
at
over there and
number
help,
3,
and
Kevin
Klesmit,
John. He replaces
as a
number
result,
24,
able to
Mikey
find
Henn.
Wall,
John
who's filling
Henn.
in behind. Really good job by Klesmit off the dribble.
Foul was on Pickett on the pass. They work right back down low, and Crowell goes to work over Jai, and Penn State was there to get back in, and just like that, Wisconsin pushed the lead back to 6.
And they tried to run the double, did the Nittany Lions, but it came a little bit too late. Crowell was already going over that left shoulder by the time the secondary help was coming.
Pickett just fought his way through 3 different Badgers. Lundy around the screen. Draws the triple!
Seth Lundy, more Pensick bookstore tees for 3.
John, he had 5 points 3 minutes into this game. That's his first bucket since.
Hasn't really attempted many shots, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, just 4.
Yeah.
double on Wall, the kick out. Sejan on the drive, fought it off the glass and in.
That's a big-time shot. That's a big-time shot, and if he's able to do that consistently, he will be as close to unguardable as there is because of his marksmanship from three-point range. A shot fake and the ability to play through traffic. Man, this freshman Connor Sejan continues to impress.
We're talking about a 43% three-point shooter who's well on his way to breaking Brad Davison's record for most made threes in a freshman season.
And what that did, even though he didn't have to put the ball on the floor, it kind of threw off the rhythm of Lundy having the defender in his face just enough.
As we thought about it, he was fouled by Pickett. So that is now the 6th foul on Penn State, and that is the 3rd foul on Jalen Pickett.
But Lundy able to get just enough of a screen by Jai up top. You saw Wall trying to get over the top, a little late getting there, and then Sejan, the shot fake, that's pretty good defense by Andrew Funk, but he's just not able to complete the play and keep feeding Steven Crowl. Until they force, now what will happen, Jason, if they run that double, that'll provide maybe a three-point shot for a guy like Sejan if Penn State decides to run the double and get the ball out of Crowell's hands.
Pickett tries the three and knocks it in.
Another team for three.
But it's the other end of the floor. They haven't been able to answer with stops. Crowell's going to slow it out. Played a whale of a ball game. Hepburn working on the freshman. Blocked from behind.
And enough of a show by Jai to allow the weak side help to come from the backside.
Pickett got the screen from Jai. Now he's got the mismatch on Crowell playing with 3 fouls.
Right.
Pickett backed his way for 2 more. And just like that, it's back to a 2-point game. Foul called on Penn State. Meanwhile, this has been a focal point because Wall and Crowell, both sub 60% free throw shooters on the season. And we watched them at shoot-around finish the practice today with those 2 guys at the line, and every miss, the whole team was doing sit-ups.
I got tired watching.
Yeah, I didn't see you on the floor. You didn't take any.
No.
Dredd put it on the floor. Hey, it's a 2-point bucket. And a tie ball game.
That's only his 5th 2-point field goal made of the year for Miles Dredd.
Badgers trying to snap a 7-0 Nittany Lions run.
Good job by Lundy of beating Crowell to a spot. Lundy is working his tail off defending Crowell on the far side.
Wall on the kick out. It's an open to Sejan, and he snaps the drought with a triple.
And that's why you have to catch the ball in athletic position with your knees bent, because it was a good look. It wasn't necessarily the perfect pass, but because Sejan had his feet underneath him and his knees bent when the pass was en route, it allowed him to recover, get it into the shooting pocket, and drain it.
He has led all scorers tonight with 15. 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Not a ton of movement here on this possession for Penn State. Windsor on the drive. And he is turning to the officials, and he's still screaming down the floor asking for the foul.
I thought it was clean, because if you're Wall, you're entitled, if you go up in there in that restricted area as a secondary defender, you can play in there if you leave your feet and put your arms straight up on and challenge the shot, and I thought Wall did that.
Game has only been tied 3 times. Make it 4. Funk for 3.
And that was orchestrated vociferously by Micah Shrewsbury on the far side. He was telling everybody, clear it out. I think Wisconsin thought that Pickett was going to try to back down. He played with pace, and that allowed Funk to get just enough space to clear himself and fill in behind for the 3.
Hepburn the turnaround. Lundy the rebound. Penn State a chance to take the lead. Pickett's trying to work one-on-one on Klesman. He got him in that situation on the kick out. Lundy, an open look. Rattles it home. Penn State in front.
And how about the unselfish play the last couple times down the floor by Pickett? Both assists to teammates for threes. That's exactly what the Nittany Lions want to do. This is a team that's been held in check from behind the arc all night, but they've started to hit them, and then they missed their last 7 to end the first stanza. But a lot of those open threes have come as a result of Jalen Pickett and his unselfish play and the attention that he demands when he starts backing you down.
5 of those 8 assists here in the second half. Krause trying to back down. Nearly a turnover. Klesman pushes, fouled, and he earned his way to the free throw line, which will take us to our final media timeout. In that first 20 minutes, they are now 0 of 2. They've only gotten there twice. They get 1 of 3 here in the second half. And to finish that conversation about what this game means, and this is just by nature of the net, this is a quad 1 game for Wisconsin. They have 4 quad 1 wins. They've got a bunch of wins over tournament quality teams. They have 4 quad 1 wins. Getting a 5th is a big deal, plus a season sweep. They feed it back to Pickett. The orchestrator of the offense. This time, an offensive foul, and that is the 4th foul on Jalen Pickett.
And a really good job by Chucky Hepburn of walling up, kind of showing his hands. And if his hands are down, this is going to be a more difficult job for these officials. Watch, his hands are kind of up. You see the dipping of the shoulder. And even if he would have been inside the restricted area, they could have still made that call because he was the primary ball defender, not a secondary defender.
And on the other end, he gives the Badgers the lead back.
Talk about a reptilian, cold-blooded sequence by Chucky Hepburn.
My goodness. He is at 4 triples here tonight. Dredd ducked his head, back out to Pickett. Great find. Winter in the paint. Didn't get it to fall, but he will go to the line for 2.
Chucky Hepburn, last 2 possessions preceding this one defensively, holding his ground. Pickett dips his shoulder, and then on the offensive end, you step behind, you get just enough of a rub by Crowell, which eliminates Lundy, who's not able to get out and contest with hands held high.
Well, we talked about the second half. Winter splits the pair. We're even at 63. 2:57 to go in the ball game. Great find to Siege, an open look.
It came off his hand very awkwardly. You could tell from the moment from our angle here, he didn't catch it cleanly, and it had a side spin rather than the back spin. That kind of didn't come off his fingertips. It almost came off his knuckles because he didn't catch it cleanly.
John, Wisconsin has led this game for nearly 30 minutes of action. Penn State has fought back the entire night and led late. Winter puts the Nittany Lions back in front by a deuce. Working on Dredd. The double came late and he fought it in.
And not only did he have to play through the physical presence of Miles Dredd, Miles Dredd was talking to Tyler Wall the whole time he was backing down. Nice utilization of the offhand there by Tyler Wall.
Final 1:40 to play. Winner got bumped.
Nice job there by Asiji. By moving his feet and a little bit of a bump, it forced Winter to fade away rather than have his momentum going toward the rim.
Greg Gard's gonna take the timeout. Comes to Wall, and he's wide open for three. It did not look like that was the play, but he was so wide open.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a reason why you're that wide open, you know, and he didn't catch it in rhythm.
Timeout.
Everybody's standing here in the Bryce Jordan Center. Approaching a minute to go in a tie ball game. Funk had it knocked away from
1 minute to play in the
behind.
half.
And it's Wisconsin basketball on the turnover. Down the stretch against Northwestern, Hepburn had the ball in his hands. And he's got it again, and Wisconsin will take its final timeout on Big Ten Network at 21. Much tighter game here tonight between Penn State and Wisconsin. Hepburn with 5 on the timer, steps back for 3, and buries it! Clutch shot for Hepburn! And Penn State takes a timeout. He is having one whale of a season. Now Penn State has to answer. The one timeout, if they can't get it inbounds, they get it to Funk. About a 3-second differential. Game clock, shot clock. Doesn't matter. Lundy buries a triple. Tied again with 23 seconds. No timeouts for Wisconsin.
Bear in mind the foul situation. Both teams in the double bonus. No need to settle for a 3. You can do something off the dribble and force the opposition and the officials to make a decision.
Hepburn's gonna make this happen. He checks the clock, shoots for 3. That's off. Offensive rebound, Gilmore. Tapped around, and we're heading to overtime. Sean, he only had 5 points at the half. And we head to overtime, he's got 14. Badgers have won 17 of the last 18 meetings. Whoa, backing down Lundy. Help finally comes. And a late whistle and a foul called on Penn State.
Penn State foul number 1, Seth Lundy.
That is 4, Sean, on Seth Lundy.
And Wall just showing you
at the line for Wisconsin,
how valuable it is to have
Wall.
that right there in your possession. The shot fake. You get the defender off balance. Good news is he's going to the line for a couple for Wisconsin. The bad news is this hasn't been an area of strength.
Splits the pair. Badgers up 1.
Substitution for Wisconsin,
Now,
number
something
14,
to
from
follow here,
Gilmore
too, is
checking
Carter
in.
Gilmore checks back in with 4 fouls. They want to keep Crowell out of foul trouble, make sure he's good on the offensive end. But Pickett and Lundy both with 4 fouls for Penn State.
Staggered for Funk. Nice job. Nice circle cut. Good defensive reaction so far by the Badgers.
Had plenty of time, but Klesmith got his hands in there. Pickett has picked up a couple of fouls on the offensive end. On the drive. Spun around. Funk for 3. Ooh, and Lundy's might be lucky he didn't get called for his 5th foul. Heading into overtime. Besieging for the triple. And a 4-point Wisconsin lead.
They thought he was going to cut. And then he steps behind that little bit of a rub screen. How about the response by the freshman here in crunch time?
He's got 18. Pickett got the baseline. And he's a bucket.
Pickett.
Now, they may run that same play, whether it's this sequence or another, and rather than step back behind that screen for a 3, then you utilize the cut if you're a Siege.
The ball out of there, another turnover. Wall. Trying to find his way, he got Wall in the air, and Wall blocked that out of bounds.
With Tyler Wall on an island. This is where size advantage comes into play. And he doesn't swing down. If he swings down to block that shot, chances are it's going to be a foul, but he pointed it with 2.
Pickett late in the shot clock, had to hoist. And a shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation, possession for Wisconsin.
Well, you go back on the other end, you talk about the freshman Connor Esigian. He has made clutch shots all night long.
He's going to come into your screen. They thought he was going to cut. He took a hard step toward the rim, and Funk, number 10, had to bite. That allowed just enough time for Esigian to step behind that little bit of a rub, and he doesn't need much room to do just that.
Hit 5 threes against Northwestern. He's got 4 tonight against Penn State. And he's 1 away from a career high.
Be a good time to drive, especially with Lundy with those 4 fouls.
Hepburn wants it back, launches the 3. Dredd battling down low. He didn't get a lot of time early in this game, but he's playing late in this game.
And a good job by Dredd of getting his hip into Wall. That kind of threw off the balance from Wall as he attempted to grab the offensive rebound.
And State is not led in overtime as we hit the 2-minute mark left in the extra session. Lundy hit the 3 to send it to overtime.
That's a pretty good job there by Klesmit, because there was no question where Penn State wanted to go, and Klesmit got there just in time. That forced Lundy to put the ball on the floor, which might have thrown off his rhythm just a tick.
Hepburn turned the corner. Dribbling in the circle out to Wall. What a pass, big to big, and they're back up 2 possessions.
How about the delivery by Tyler Wall? Going to his left, and he put it right between the number 2s for Crowell.
Pickett gets it right back, so it's once again a 2-point game. Wall has been doing that all night though, Sean. Career high 8 assists for the senior.
Ooh, boy, they had the back door. I think if Esigian kept going, Wall was going to hit him with a backdoor feed, and he would have been able to convert.
Was looking for it. Instead, it's Hepburn. Late in the clock again. Klesmit on the drive. Got it up with the left hand.
Wisconsin basket, Max Klesmit.
Man, have we seen some big-time buckets in this ballgame.
Excellent spacing of the floor by the Badgers in that last possession allowed Klesmit the opportunity to return and finish.
Penn State's got to have an answer. Pickett almost lost it, the kick out. Winner, an open 3, and it rattled out. And they got a foul. Shot clock is turned off. And Wall hits some free throws. He's got 2 coming. And hit the second. Penn State still has 2 timeouts. Lundy quickly into the front court. Behind the back, got knocked out of his hands by Wall. He had gotten past the senior, but a great recovery. Penn State's got to get into the offense, and they got to do it quickly. Remember, Pickett is fouled out. Lundy, tough look at the 3. Hepburn the rebound, and they give the foul. Has not been to the line yet tonight. Pickett did everything he could in the second half. But Hepburn buries them both, and Wisconsin 11 seconds away from a 5th quad 1 win of the season. Winner on the drive, he hits with 5.8 to go. They got to foul if they can't get a steal.
Nice.
Great pass to Gilmore. And they give the foul with a couple of seconds coming off the clock. You're gonna hear from the coaching staff. Press conferences, the analysis coming up. Stephen Bardo, Bruce Weber back in studio. Greg Gard's team coming off that loss to Northwestern. They had it at home. Missed them both, but there's not enough time left for Penn State. Wisconsin's dominance in this series continues. They beat Penn State for the 18th time.